Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Hi.
Your maybe, hopefully, favorite three idiots are going to discuss an old film. This time, it
Yes.
was this mad woman's turn. So,
Yes.
explain.
Basically we didn't have a regular film lined up, so I suggested doing my fan edit of Airplane because okay, I recently did a video about Airplane and its progenitor film Zero Hour and all them ones. Basically, the astounding, mind-melting importance of the original film of this story, Flight into Danger. And because I was working on this video and because I'd done some research and I knew some stuff, I knew that the guys who made Airplane originally wanted to make it black and white and set it in the 50s. So I was like, I've got Airplane on my computer. And I've also got Zero Hour, the 1950s movie that Airplane's a remake of, on my computer. So why don't I take the footage, some footage from Zero Hour, put it into Airplane, and then try to do a rough approximation of what they wanted, and just for my own amusement, just like show it to people, be like, "Lol, look at that." Because honestly, I have no idea how you even. I don't even know how fan edits work on the internet, and I don't really particularly want to know. But we decided, so I suggested we watch this because all three of us like Airplane, and I figured it'd be a nice, interesting experiment for them, and for me, it's an excuse to rewatch it and to see if I can pick up any mistakes I've made, and I did pick up some, so I can fix it for the next time I watch it with someone. So yeah, this was
I will be
Airplane in black and
honest.
white.
I haven't seen Airplane for probably the better part of 17 years, so I honestly couldn't tell you where the edits were.
Yeah, I was able
See,
to
that's what I was
recognize
going
some.
for. I,
I've
the,
also
the
had
the
an
the
excessive
big
amount of
list.
rum.
Okay, the list of what things I changed. Okay, almost all the exteriors of the plane were replaced with the one from Zero Hour. Um, the ones where I literally couldn't because like they had characters, interacting with it, those ones I didn't. Uh, yeah, obviously I made everything black and white. I cropped the images at the side. Though Zero Hour was also widescreen, but because the Zaz team first saw Zero Hour on a TV edit in the late 70s and a crappy black and white TV. So therefore I cropped it like that for a TV version and I made it look slightly crapper with like, lines and stuff like that. I also inserted some extra bits from Zero Hour into it that were not in Airplane, such as a scene where Stryker looks at the controls and he sees like a plane coming out of them at him. That I added that. There's a scene of the wheels coming down in the plane, which was not there. Shots of the propellers starting up because in Airplane, the plane has propeller sounds but no propellers. That's the only thing the producers would give them to let them make it like the 50s. And the in-flight movie is Zero Hour, and just little things like that. It's not meant to be an overpowering or obvious fan edit. It's just meant to be one that you hopefully don't notice.
It's the little subtle jokes like the entire film is made of. Like I did notice the 0 hour edit. I giggled at that.
Personally, I find it funnier just to watch Zero Hour with the knowledge of Airplane. It just feels so interesting.
I will maintain that Airplane did a better job of informing the audience that the pilot ate the fish than 0 hour.
Yes, it is so much better at drama. That was so
Yeah,
ridiculous. You were right.
because like
Because
you've seen Airplane. It's where he's listing off the symptoms and the pilot goes through them. He glances down and sees just the fish bones on his plate. In 0 hour, it's just so you know, I also had the fish. Okay.
oh no, it's even worse than that. It's like they're talking about the fish and everything like that, and then a few seconds later, the pilot he's in the front just doing like do 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 do, and then he's just like, "Wait a sec, I just remembered, I had fish too."
I also forget what I ate for dinner regularly.
Or he's half an hour earlier.
Oh dear. See, you getting all those ADHD people pilot licenses.
Yeah.
But
But yeah,
anyway,
yeah. The if you haven't seen my video, Flight into Danger, the most important TV movie ever made, you really should because Flight into Danger, which became Zero Hour, which became Airplane, is possibly the most important piece of TV ever made, just in the amount of dominoes that follow it. I'm thinking about doing a follow-up video because I've discovered more things that either definitely or arguably wouldn't have happened without that thing's existence, stretching out as far as K-pop.
No spoilers. We don't
Okay.
want you to spoil that video or the sequel video.
Yeah.
Did either of you two watch that video?
Not yet, no.
Okay, fair enough. I've seen the numbers. Very few people have.
I usually put your videos on when I'm working. Just a background noise. But anywho, in the off chance that anyone who's clicked onto this doesn't know what we're talking about, Airplane was a film from a long time ago. So
1980.
spoilers.
45 years.
Oh Jesus!
The film and
Why did you do that?
and Airplane. Okay, the type of comedy that Airplane does, serious performances or dramatic performances, and scattershot, jokes, is kind of ruined now because of the epic movie Disaster Movie, Meet the Spartans, An American Carol. There's so many terrible films to be made in that style. But
Scary
Airplane,
Movie was good. I will maintain that Scary Movie did a really good job at a quote-unquote modern version of it, but then they just went absurd. Like, there was I think it was either Not Another Teen Movie or Meet the Spartans or one of those ones where they had this Amy Winehouse-looking boar creature, and I swear to fuck, the joke was the fact that she maintained a belch for over a minute of screen time. I didn't find that film very funny.
Scary Movie, I'll disagree with you on quality, but that's not the important thing. Scary Movie 1, I don't think was in the Zaz style. Scary Movie 3 was. That's when one of the Zuckers actually took control of it. Like, Scary Movie, it was more of the Wayans style. So it was influenced by the Zaz style, but it wasn't actually in the Zaz style. Like, the Zaz is very particular in the kind of style, but it influenced everything, though. Basically, every comedy movie made in the English language made since then has some kind of inspiration from, or is taken, or is pushing against the inspiration from Airplane. It is that important.
So I call these films absurdist comedies, like the Police Squad, and what was it, Naked Gun, and
Hot Shots.
Hot Shots, and Top Secret.
Yeah, they are all Zaz. Those are all. Yeah, those are all Zaz style comedies. In fact, all of those were done by someone involved in the Zaz team.
Yeah, Top Secret is too overlooked.
Yeah, it's really funny. Like, looking back,
Ich liebe dich, mein Scheiß.
I saw that referenced on a Reddit thread recently, and there were so few people who got it, and then as the scene was linked, and then there was just a whole other thread of just clips from Hot Shots and Top Secret. It was just so fun. But anyway, so back to what I was saying. Spoilers. This is a film about a plane disaster.
Do we really need to give spoiler warnings for a 45-year-old film that everyone in the audience has already seen? And if they haven't, I'm very disappointed in you. Pause the video, go watch it, and then come back.
Well, to be
I've
fair,
been
I
yelled
work
at for
with
giving
people who
spoilers
have
for
never
older
seen
stuff.
Aliens. There's a guy in my office, and God love him, he's a baby. He was younger than Lucy. He hasn't seen any of the greats. He hasn't seen Alien or Aliens. He hasn't seen Terminator 2. He hasn't seen The Matrix. He hasn't seen what was the one that really annoyed us?
Jurassic Park?
Yeah, he hadn't seen any of the Jurassic Parks. He hadn't seen Predator. He hadn't seen Die Hard. He hadn't seen Speed. But he saw The Rock.
Is he just not a film person, or does he just prefer modern stuff?
I don't know. It's just it actually got to the point where our systems were down for like an hour, and we just kind of like gathered around this guy and started firing off film titles at him. And he's like, "Nah, never seen it. Never seen it. Never seen it."
Because I've noticed there was a few weeks ago on like Twitter or something. There was someone who was like really angry, like legitimately angry that someone hadn't seen some of the films that you've mentioned. And I was just like, the person you're talking to is 20. Those films were old before they were born.
Yeah.
You know, this is the equivalent of someone like imagine yourself at 20. Think of a film that was old 20 years before you were born, and it's like, would you have watched that at that age? It's just
Probably
like
not.
it's really annoying. Hmm?
Probably not. But still, it's
Yeah,
just
it's
half the
annoying,
films
but
you were listing
people,
he hadn't even heard of. I was like, how have you
yeah,
not even come across them in parody yet?
they probably
'Cause,
have and just doesn't have context for it.
yeah,
You
probably.
know, it's this one thing I've noticed from you know because I love old media, so I'm used to this kind of experience of talking to people about stuff that I think is interesting and is important, but they have no idea what I'm talking about. And it's just that by getting older, you're going to experience more of that. And like, well, I'm already swimming in it because
Well,
you know there's me raving about stuff from the 1950s.
to be fair, Sar, we don't know what you're talking about half the time either, so.
That's just a
I know that's my
given.
point. Okay. Uh, okay. 1951 anthology science fiction show Tales of Tomorrow. What's your favorite episode?
Never seen it.
The third.
There you go. The third is Lost.
Hmm. And it was an excellent episode. I particularly liked the part where the guy did the thing.
For a moment there, you almost got away with convincing us you had actually seen the show. But anyway, normally what we would do is we would talk about things like sound design and special effects and such, but while Zar has buffering, it's unfortunately the secret is now out. Hagen is actually a AI generated video. Sometimes it glitches.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but all I see is pixels.
Yeah, your connection's gone a bit wonky here.
Anyway, Ardo's in. Normally we would review things like the sound design and special effects and such. But there's not really much to be saying about this film. That it's a classic film and it has been slightly edited.
Well, I
Yeah.
have something to say.
Oh.
A negative point, you might even say.
Gasp!
Honestly, rewatching it, brilliant film, loved it, humor. However, they did have a tendency to replay some humor just one too many times. The Shirley joke went too far. The Totally Not
Rule of
Jehovah's
three in
Witnesses went too far.
The rule of three in comedy.
Well, sometimes it definitely felt more than three at times. Other times it played
And
out
Shirley
well.
only had two.
Yeah.
Shirley only had two.
Other times, and the "oh, what is that" joke as well. But then there are others that played out over time which worked well, particularly the couple fighting over the sound system, because it wasn't just repeating the same joke, it was expanding the joke every time it ran.
Yeah, but we all know what the
Oh,
argument
a
was
fun
really
fact.
about. He
Fun
wanted her to get
fact
an
about
abortion.
that argument. Though the fun fact, those were the actual LAX, announcer people, voices that they were using for the film, and they
Oh,
were a married couple.
oh, that's great. That's the type of thing you were talking about during the film. That little bits of context like that are now going to be lost. And that's
Oh
the
yeah,
type
there's
of
a lot of
context that means
context like that.
nothing. No.
Yeah, like they okay, the context about the guy in the cab. You know that joke?
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
sitting there with the
Okay.
meter running.
Yes. Okay. That guy is the man who basically he spearheaded an attempt in the late 70s to change the tax thing of California to basically lower their taxes because he thought the governments were too wasteful, and so he was obsessed with wasting money, with getting rid of money wasting, just getting rid of it. And so the Zaz guys put him in there to make him waste money the entire time because he's sitting in the cab and it's like several hundred quid.
Hmm.
So that's an extra bit of humor because he's not an actor and he's just this random guy that you don't get unless you find out that extra information. Like another one you were saying about the totally not Jehovah's Witnesses. Those you see until the mid 80s, it was very common in the USA in airports for there to be random religious people hanging around in both before and after security. Who were just giving out pamphlets because they were considered public spaces. It was during the Reagan administration that they became private spaces and therefore they could be expelled and not allowed in there anymore. And so that's because these guys were everywhere.
Like, there's a joke there too that I can bet you nobody would have the context for anymore now. It's whenever they're actually crashing and the plane's sliding along the runway, it keeps switching that it's now arriving at gate 9, gate 10, gate 10. Those aren't people waiting to get on the plane. Those are families waiting for people to come off. I was trying to explain this to, I think it was my young nephew, that you used to be able to walk right the way up to the gangplank and see someone off and then leave. Or you used to be able to come to where the gate was coming in and just stand there and wait for them to come directly off the plane. Now you didn't have to wait past back and everything. That all changed after 2001.
And I remember as late as 2010, 2011, you could actually walk up to the baggage place in Belfast International Airport. I met someone who flew over from England there. I shocked them at the baggage because it wasn't done in England, but it was still done there.
Yeah. Then you had was it the Glasgow one?
The headbutt?
The guy who tried to ram a car into the airport managed to set himself on fire, and a Scottish baggage handler kicked him so hard in the nuts he tore a tendon in his leg while he was on fire.
Yes.
Now that's a proper Scottish welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But yeah,
that's the kind of welcome you get when you try and blow up an airport and hurt people.
I'll wake you up in the morning, boy. To quote Braveheart.
Oh dear.
Yeah, because of context and all changing, I think this is something we discussed while watching it, that things, well, because a lot of context is lost, jokes are lost. There are huge areas of humor in Airplane which the joke is somewhat lost, if not completely lost, because of just the passage of time and this changing in culture. Like the jokes we talked about earlier. Yeah. But the stuff we talked about earlier, that's all stuff that is still funny, but it's not as funny as it would have been at the time. And this phenomena is why I'm of the opinion, that, okay, tragedy plus history equals comedy, but at the same time, comedy plus history equals fantasy. Because for comedy, eventually, with enough context changes, just becomes people doing weird shit. And to back up this point, the first bit of science fiction ever written, the earliest thing that can be considered science fiction is a 2nd century Roman book called A True Story, and it was written as a parody. But if you read it, it's just space opera, primitive space opera with medieval, with people using ancient weapons and stuff. But it's got interplanetary warfare and artificial air, and alien men getting pregnant because it was all gay race, stuff like that. It's got AI. But this was written to take the piss out of stuff that was popular at the time.
Yeah.
Culture is weird.
So yeah, great film.
Yeah.
As always.
I would highly recommend you watch it. Even if you're beyond the age group of this, I would definitely recommend it because there are just some timeless jokes there that are in the background. That you wouldn't really notice unless you're paying attention to it. You have the more obvious absurd ones that are up front, like, oh, the shit's gonna hit the fan. The next scene starts off on a fan and something big and brown hitting it. You have the trope where all the reporters run off to the phone boxes at once and then they knock over the stand.
Let's get some pictures.
Let's get some pictures, boys, and they go and they just literally start taking the pictures, the photographs and frames off the wall. Would you like a smoking or non-smoking ticket? I'll take the smoking. Hands up a ticket that is actually giving off smoke. It's like
Even the idea of a smoking section, that's the kind of thing that might, to a young person, might be mistaken for part of the joke. Like the idea of a smoking section on a plane is so ludicrous.
Yeah.
And yet-
It's fascinating.
Like, Police Squad does this really well. There's one scene that will always make me laugh my arse off. Is they're in the lab and it says, "I've got it in the other room, come on." Two of them walk through a door and then the camera kind of pans out and then there's just a gap in a wall and Drebin walks through the gap in the wall and nobody acknowledges it. It's just that kind of absurdist comedy in the back. Just the stuff that's in the background is always the best.
Yeah, I think Naked Gun is definitely where they definitely perfected the style.
Oh dear. So, anything else you want to say? Any other little edits you're proud of?
No, it's nothing particularly proud of, but you know, the idea. I'm really happy that you found it so seamless, though, that you found it so. You in a lot of cases you didn't notice that it actually changed things.
Again, I haven't
That's good.
seen it for the better part of probably near closer to 20 years. Like the last time I watched this, I
Yeah.
was 17, 16. Oh, God.
Yeah, but also think about this. The films look completely different. The fact that I managed to make Airplane look so much like a 1950s movie, or make them look so similar, but that you didn't notice the film stock change. That's a little bit of a win for me.
I will say one of your more amusing jokes is that while the rest of the film is black and white, the flashback scene, which would traditionally be in black and white, you left as colour.
And I'm thinking I might change that, not to make it black and white, but to make it like Technicolor looking, like 1930s, like bright.
Well,
Yeah, I was like, I gotta make the flashbacks color. That makes perfect sense. And I also got rid of the film scratches and made it widescreen.
but I reckon, unless there's anything else you wish to say about this.
No, I'm good.
Okay. For once, I am not going to throw something at Teddy because I made a stirrup Salem, but I do demand you give that cat a pet. No! No! Don't do it! Don't do it! No!
Inverted the expectations.
Pet the cat.
Show the cat. Show the cat.
Oh, now the
Aw.
cat's attacking my hand. Say hello, Salem.
Hey, baby boy.
Hello.
Aw,
It was a good thing
what
that
a good kid.
the tag with our address and my phone number was facing the other way when you put him up to the camera.
You could have edited that.
Would he have noticed? Would he have paid attention?
Yeah, but you would have. You would have been all like, change that now, and then smacked him till dead.
You assume I watched this before it gets put up on YouTube?
Yeah, but you noticed it now, so you'd remember.
True. Did I?
Oh, Teddy, did you recognize the guy playing Captain Rex Kramer in this?
No.
That's Robert Stack, who voiced Ultra Magnus about 5 years later in Transformers the movie.
Who knows? Alright, so we'll end it off there with Teddy kissing a cat. Usual shenanigans. If you enjoy this, like, subscribe. Check out our Discord, Patreon if you're interested, and we'll see you guys in the next one. I'm gonna finish my rum.